tonight is a big night for women's sports. Caitlin Clark makes her debut, and Covino said to me, "Yo, dude, you watching tonight?"
Well, what I said was, usually when I wake up, I think about the day ahead of me and what do I have to look forward to. And one of the first things I thought of when I was doing the bowl scroll this morning, starting off the day like I always do, just scrolling through social media, I was like, ooh, that's right. Tonight is Caitlin Clark's WNBA debut, and I'm pumped for it. I'm not a big women's college basketball fan. I'm not a big WNBA fan, but I am very excited to see how her talents translate, and I think it's going to be the big story of the night by far. You got Pacers, Knicks, they're tied at 2. Timberwolves, Nuggets, all tied at 2. You got great NBA, but the story tonight and tomorrow when we wake up will be Caitlin Clark's debut. And as a guy who likes to be involved in what's happening live and what's happening now, and I don't want FOMO and missing out on anything that's happening current in sports, I am tuning into that. I want to see it. It doesn't mean you can't have your eye on the NBA as well, but I want to see how this pans out and what the story's going to be. Did she stink it up? Did she light it up? That's the story. I'm going to be tuning in.
Might as well enjoy it because you're not going to hear about it ever again.
That's what Rich is saying.
After the debut?
Rich is saying the buzz is over.
After the debut? Okay.
Nah, I don't know, man. I don't know about
what if
that.
she balls out? You're gonna hear and see highlights.
If she balls out, that is the biggest story of the night. It's her. It's not good that she's going to come into the WNBA and fizzle. If that's the story, then if that's the story, Danny G, and she stinks it up, still a big story.
Her talent's not going to fizzle. Her attention is going to fizzle.
I don't know. She's got star power, man.
Like every time an NFL draft happens, everyone's really excited. Week 1 or 2, like, yo, what's Bryce Young going to look like? Yo, Anthony Richardson. Like this year, all eyes on Caleb Williams week 1.
All eyes on us.
Like, what's he going to do? And then eventually, unless the team's any good, you're going to look at it and say, oh, Bears game on primetime? Well, Caleb Williams, but if they're like 2 and 4,
you think all these people who went crazy over Caitlin Clark the past 2 years, crazy. Iowa Sam rocking her PJs.
He's from Iowa.
Yeah, but still, she had casual fans, non-fans tuning in. You think all of a sudden they just don't care because she had one bad game?
No, not one bad game. My thought is hype, like the Jersey Shore. There was a time where they were the hottest person.
You can't compare her to Snooki, dude.
Okay.
I think you can.
She's a generational talent, you morons.
So was Snooki.
Get out of my face.
The 2000s was
silly.
all about Snooki in the Jersey Shore.
Dude, I'm not even a big, like I said, WNBA fan, and I'm excited. That's why I'm very confident what I'm saying. I think a lot of people are excited about it and will continue to be excited about it if, especially, she lights it up. If she stinks it up, it's still a big story.
You're allowed to be rooting for something, just not expecting the outcome that would be nice. Like, I'm rooting for the WNBA. I root for women's sports. I hope they make that money. I hope people watch. I'm just saying that tonight, all eyes on Caitlin Clark. I just wonder if, what is it, May 14th? On June 14th, are you going to watch an Indiana Fever game on a Tuesday night? My question is, my thought is, no. But you may say yes, and if that's the case, then good for the WNBA.
If anyone's going to make people watch, it's going to be her. So that's also what makes it an interesting sort of story to watch, to see how it pans out, and it starts tonight. Now, you said 2 things could be true, so what are the 2 true things?
That I'm rooting for women's sports to succeed.
Okay,
but that doesn't mean I think the WNBA is going to make this massive leap. I think they're going to have better ratings than ever before. I think they're moving in the right direction. But if you think all of a sudden the casual sports fan is going to be like, dude, did you watch the Fever game last night? I just don't see it happening. And you know what? It's not a prisoner of the moment thing. It's a matter of NCAA women's basketball is exciting, right? Because there were matchups. It's one and done. LSU, Iowa, then South Carolina. There was UConn. There were so many great matchups and games. I think an Indiana Fever Tuesday night game only works because it's her debut. Otherwise, who's watching?
I think attention will kick up again at like the finals, the championships.
Yeah, if their team
involved,
makes it. Yeah,
if they're involved,
so
you'll get that attention more so than you normally would.
Is there buzz? Honest, man. Are you tuning in? Will it fade? Is what Rich is asking. Because let me tell you, he was very ho-hum about it when I brought it up earlier.
Well, I'm still ho-hum. To me, you're asking me what I care about tonight? Knicks Pacers.
And that's still a solid
No,
answer.
it'll be fun to watch.
But you could, like you said, two things could be true. You could be excited about Knicks Pacers and still be fired up about the result of her debut.
Of course. I'm just saying, not now. I'm saying months from now, I hope that the people that are all like, yeah, Caitlin Clark, I hope they keep up their enthusiasm because it's good for women's sports, it's good for the game. But I just wonder, and I'll go back to my Snooki analogy because I think there's something there. You could say Jeremy Lin if you want to make it sports. There's people that for a moment, they're the hottest interview to get. Like, you know how Nikki Glaser right now is the hottest interview because she was killing at the Brady roast? In a month from now, yeah, you could get Nikki Glaser on the show. She's a pal of ours. A great example would be the girl that caught Ohtani's home run. Danny G got her on that day. 2 days later, her neighbor doesn't even want to talk to her. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all like, what's in the moment, right? Like, give me a story that was popular months ago. And if you could even think of one, that person's pretty easy to get now.
Well, the news cycle moves so fast.
So
that
faster
you're
than
on
ever.
To the next thing. I get what you're saying. We're on to the next, like Jay-Z. On to the next, on to the next. We're on to the next story, especially in the world of sports. But I don't see her star fading at all. And what makes it even more intriguing and enticing and exciting to watch is how so many old heads in the WNBA were downplaying her abilities and saying they wouldn't translate in the WNBA, which gets me, a guy that doesn't care all that much, excited to see if it does. And that's why I'm taking a stronger stance on it, because when I tell you I thought I cared the least, I'm excited to watch. So I find your stance on it like interesting because I think she has the star power to get everybody talking. It's going to be the biggest story of the night, and you're downplaying it.
I may be biased as a Covino guy here, but I do side with Steve in this. I
hope you're right. Again, I said,
and the reason that I say that, and I'm just going to use Zion Williamson as an example, because I would say that Zion Williamson's career so far professionally has been somewhat underwhelming.
Oh,
right,
without a doubt.
Yes.
Well, he was
best.
He was ripping shoes in college, and he was the next guy. Like, Zion's been a disappointment.
And the Pelicans have really not, gravitated towards the top of the West. He's been in and out, and then when he was doing well, but when he was doing well, we're still like, Zion, in those little moments. Like, even though it hasn't been a lot of momentum, I think it's going to be the same with Caitlin Clark, whether it be tonight, whether it be this season, or in the next season. If she doesn't have a good start and she gets acclimated, takes her a year or two, I think that star will be back up to the mega star status.
Iowa Sam?
I think all of this is kind of unfair to her. I mean, this is her first WNBA
Wait, hold on.
game.
Are you going to cry?
No.
I think are you shedding a tear right now?
I'm okay. I'm dry. I'm just saying, I was just trying to put emphasis on this, that this is her first game as a rookie. And we're like, we're going to turn in. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? She might stink for a few months, and then maybe she starts getting it going, but this is an immense amount of pressure on her.
I agree.
Great
from the get-go.
But you know what, Sam? She needs I'm okay with that. You know why? Because the greats, people that break through, right? What makes someone the right guy? Why do people always say that Jackie Robinson, what made him so special? That not only was he was the first African-American baseball player, but he was the guy that was up for the job. Like, he dealt with racist a-holes. He succeeded on the field. Like, he did everything right. If it was someone else, it may not have worked out as well. If Caitlin Clark wants to be the woman that takes sports in the women's world to the next level, she has to take on those pressures. Think about, like, how come we don't talk about the first gay player in this sport or that sport? Because there's no real
star.
There was no star breakout player. Like,
wasn't there like a random
like the Raider with Carl Nassib, right? Like, he was a good player, but like
before that Sam,
yeah,
the Ram.
Sam, I was like say Iowa Sam,
Michael
Ram.
Sam,
and
Sam the Ram.
It just it needs to be the right person. So if Caitlin Clark's the right person, then she could take on that pressure.
Yeah, and I'm rooting to see what happens. That's all. To me, that's exciting.
It is exciting, but I do think a lot of people are like posturing or like pretending like they care. They're riding the wave of excitement and like the news cycle, but they're gonna lose interest. It's about the conversion rate.
Spot, it's
like
very
the same people are excited now that are really like talking about it, really into it. If they're, like you said, excited in a month, then the conversion rate will be high. I think most people will not care.
Oddly enough, Spot and I agree.
We never agree on that.
And we never agree. It just, and again, like I said, two things are allowed to happen. When the 49ers Chiefs went into overtime, my gut told me, oh, my team's going to lose. But I really wanted the Niners to win. But deep down inside, I'm like, yeah, I can want that all day. Mahomes in overtime, we're toast. I want this to go well for women's sports in the WNBA. I just feel like tonight will be like, oh, cool, all eyes on Caitlin Clark. I just wonder, in a summer Tuesday night, June, July, when you got other things going on, are you really going to be caring? And my instinct is, I don't think people will care.
Well, it's funny you use Snooki as an example because
she chimed
that
in on
show
this?
came out 15 years ago, and they're still doing it.
Yeah, but do you care as much?
No, but they're still doing it, dude. And they're still doing it, and they're still very popular.
You loved Jersey Shore. You
did.
should have been in Jersey Shore.
I still watch a lot of the highlights on social media.
But do you watch Jersey Shore Family Vacation every
I
week?
don't watch MTV. Who
Exactly.
watches MTV?
But the point is, at one point we had Snooki and the situation on our show, Danny G, and it was
Before he was in jail.
like the get. Like the fact that we had him on was like, yo, we got them on. This is when every single person was pumping their fist and
Well, you know what? I like your stance because now more than ever, I'm rooting for Caitlin Clark to light it up, just to stick it in your pompous face.
good.
And to get everybody tuning in and be like, yo, man, it's like Linsanity. She's lighting it up. Just so you can come here with what's the expression, egg on your face.
A couple years
like
later,
an egghead looking like an ass.
couple years later, Jeremy Lin got a goofy haircut, playing sitting the bench in
and guess what?
Toronto
He won a ring, you nerd.
without playing. You
Doesn't
nerd.
matter. You don't have one. So I'm very pumped to see it. And I'm not a big Caitlin Clark guy. Iowa Sam, I do agree with what you said. I don't think anyone could deny. She's got a lot of pressure on her. Is it fair? No. But she's got to step up to that. And that's what also makes it intriguing. Can she be that person? Can she carry that weight on her back? Can she still perform with these pressures? I think she can. She had an immense amount in college. The WNBA is not greater than what she was doing there.
The storylines in college were better, though.
Yes.
LSU,
I get
Angel
that.
Reese, South Carolina, undefeated. Beckers and all the successful, talented girls at UConn. It was bigger than the men's tournament. That was amazing.
So I guess the question is,
Name one other player on the Fever. You couldn't. I couldn't. Don't lie to
Dude,
yourself.
I got the fever for the flavor, bro. I got the fever. Indiana Fever. Rich wants to know if you think the buzz will fade. Clearly, he thinks it will. Or will it translate, which will be a bigger star in the WNBA? Let's hear your feedback. Let's chop it up. 877-99 on Fox.
I want to hear everyone.
877-99 on Fox
And
at Covino and Rich.
I don't want to be the jerk, but Spot said it's all. I'll back up what he said.
Too late.
I don't mind.
There is a layer of people on social media and people in public saying what they think is the nice thing to say.
Right.
I'm not being righteous at all. I promise you, everything I'm saying right now is real.
Well, good for you.
I'm serious. I think there's so much interest there. And I don't give a diddly squat about the WNBA.
Well, you do. You're watching tonight.
Yeah. I say that
You're-
respectfully, and I'm being real about it. I
you're-
want to see how this pans out.
But you're interested in the current storyline, and that current storyline will be over in a week.
All right. Well, you know what? I hope she comes here and tells you to beat it.
I hope she does.
blocks you on social media the way she blocked AB. So, hey, there's another story
All right.
about basketball that involves LeBron and Bronny. I want to talk about that,
Okay,
too.
so-
Plus foul balls and Shaq Diesel trivia. But your feedback. I want to hear more of your feedback.
Keep your balls to yourself. We'll get your feedback. Caitlin Clark, is this done in a month? Is this the start of the WNBA making a ton of money? And listen, they fly on their own planes now. Like there's been great changes. So we shall see. Only time will tell.